Hello everyone, welcome to the Dante Elephante podcast. This is episode 72. Welcome back. If this is your first time, hello. It's me, Dante Elephante, aka Ruben. I like how also known as my real name, Ruben. That happens a lot. People keep asking me, do you get tired of people calling you Dante Elephante? Listen, I'm used to it by now. I've been doing this band for almost 11 years. They've been calling me Dante for 11 fucking years. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I can handle it. I don't mind it anymore. This has been a big week. It's such a crazy story. So last week on the podcast, I told you we were going to go play in Chicago. Oh, let's just start off. Who's on the podcast? Sweet Nobody's on the podcast. It's episode 72 is Sweet Nobody. They're from Long Beach. They have a new album coming out. We're trying our best. September 17th. It comes out September 17th. So next month. They're on the podcast. It's a really fun episode. All four of them are talking, so we had like four people on one mic. It was a very great episode. You're gonna learn about them. We're gonna joke around a little bit. It's outside in front of Eric Glossy's home on a bench. Yes, and it was very hot. It was very great. And their songs are awesome. If you haven't listened to them yet, go. They have like 3 singles out right now. Go listen to them. They're really great. And you know, I think we've done a pretty good job with these bookings. Like we've had some good bands, not just good people, but some good bands and some good songs. So, hey, if I can introduce some people to some new bands, that's pretty good. But let's get into it, man. Last week, I told you we were going to play the Lollapalooza after show with Hines. The craziest 48 hours of my life. I wake up about Wednesday or Thursday. This is right before, I think it was Wednesday. I was at Jenny's house, and it was Wednesday, and I got the call that Hines is no longer coming to America. And I was like, shit. Well, we just bought a plane ticket, so we're coming to Chicago, whether Chicago's ready or not. Like, what's going to happen? Are we still playing our show? They said, yeah, they might find you a headliner. We don't know. Or you can headline, which is like scary enough as it is. Turns out we had to headline. And they were offering refunds for people's tickets, and if you could get a refund, you could also come into the show for free. We were hoping that happened, and it was just so crazy. And then they gave us a ticket link, and we sold a lot of tickets in 24 hours. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to all the Dante Elephante fans in Chicago. If you're listening and you live in Chicago, thank you so much for coming out to the shows. Thanks to everyone. It was such a crazy weekend. So then basically we had to play the Empty Bottle. We headlined. It was awesome. We had someone filling in on bass because Raphael had to work, and then we had someone filling in on keys because Zach, if you've seen us play live, you've seen me talk to Zach or Eric. And then after Zach told me he couldn't come, I talked to Eric. Eric couldn't do it. So I had to find someone. And luckily we found this dude named Ryan Flynn. He lives in Chicago. He's in a band called The Evening Attraction. And he was down. He was available, and he learned the songs really quickly, which was awesome. So we had a couple practices. We had one practice face to face, and we practiced for like a couple hours, and then we played the show at the Empty Bottle, which was like a nice warm up, right? We didn't know what the ticket sales were going to look like. No one had told us if, like, you know, because as soon as people came, people bought tickets for Hines. Let's be real. It was a sold out show, sold out before I even hopped on, and people wanted to see Hines. I don't hate anyone for that. I would do the same thing. I wouldn't fucking show if it was the headliner canceled, or they couldn't come in because of visa stuff. Listen, it's so hard to get into America right now. It's so hard to leave America right now. I don't blame Hines. I feel bad for them. They were so sad. I saw their post online. Such a bummer. But shout out to everyone who still came and said, you know what, we bought tickets. Let's just go enjoy the show. What else are we going to do on a Friday night? We didn't get tickets to Lollapalooza. This is the next best thing. So it was crazy. It was just like a really crazy weekend. which then led to Thursday. Like, we were getting ready to board our flights, and we get the call. We get the call that, yeah, we're going to play Lollapalooza. And we got in very last minute at 12:15. Lollapalooza is a festival I never even thought I could play. You know, in California, in your big dreams, you have these big lists of things you want to do, right? Oh, I want to play Coachella. Maybe I want to play festivals. Yeah, like we started Dante Elephante. We're like, yeah, I want to play festivals. I want to play Outside Lands. I want to play Coachella. But never in my wildest dreams I think, I could play Lollapalooza in Chicago. Like, it makes no sense. But we got to do it. Something that I never thought I would ever do. And yeah, it was a 12:15 set. Like, people were walking in and they came up and it was just, it was, words can't describe the feeling I felt when I got on that stage. And we played the Empty Bottle the night before, and we stayed out way too late, and we had to wake up super early, and we were super like, oh my God, like I had a pounding headache. I think it was from the lack of sleep. I only had like 4 beers the night before, but even then I was just like, I feel like complete dog shit. And we played, and it went well, and we only prepared like 35 minutes of material because this trip was only supposed to be an opening slot. We didn't have enough time. We couldn't fill the time. So we extended a few songs. And then, of course, you know, at the end of my shows, I run into the crowd and for calling me on the phone, and I didn't know how to get down from the stage. So I ran to the left, and all the security guards were, go left. So I ran to the left. There was no way down. So then I had to run on stage the opposite way. And I eventually worked my way down to the crowd, and we were able to kill some time that way. But other than that, yeah, Chicago was absolutely crazy. Lollapalooza was absolutely crazy. It was so fun. I saw some friends. I got to see my friend Dave Mount. I saw Acadian from Twin Peaks. Like, it was really great to just see people, you know, even if it was just backstage, even if it was just for a second, because, you know, it's just so chaotic. And yeah, shout out to everyone I knew sharing COVID memes with me. I was very aware of the situation. I was very paranoid. I kept my mask on like at all times. I barely took my mask off at Lollapalooza. And like, also, I was backstage. I wasn't in the general admission. I wasn't in that massive crowd sea of people. What the hell? Hell no. We were backstage. We were being escorted with golf carts from stage to stage. I wasn't with all those people. Oh, hell no. I would be so freaked out. I saw those photos and I lost my mind. I was like, how is everybody in that sea of people right now to go see a show? Hey, you know what? Shout out to Lollapalooza. Shout out to all the people who came out. It was absolutely wild. We couldn't stay long. We left about 3:00 because we had another festival to play in. And this is where I have to apologize to the good people of Kankakee. It's not Kankakee. It's Kankakee. I said last 2 weeks in the podcast, Kankakee. That is not the name of that town. It is Kankakee. And for that, I do apologize. That is on me. But no one told me. And I sound like a nice boy from Milwaukee. But either way, hell of a trip, man. Hell of a trip. We played 3 shows in 18 hours. And, you know, after Lollapalooza, it was just like, it was just young people, and it was just partying, and I was like, this is crazy. And on the drive over to Kankakee, I was thinking, I hope this is like a family festival. Like, I'm thinking funnel cake, I'm thinking corn dogs, I'm thinking like a chill atmosphere, and it was exactly that. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I was like, I want to see children running and like around on the fairgrounds, and it was very much like that, and it was very like calming and peaceful, and I loved it. It was so fun. Also very packed and in a crazy town. Kankakee, crazy place. Very fun. I'm glad we got to go. I'm glad I got to see it. I'm glad I got to hang out with my friends Annabelle and Genevieve. Like, you know, we have a lot of friends in Chicago, and it was great to see people. And I still can't believe I played Lollapalooza. I was excited just to play the after party. And I was like, we're going to play the after party and maybe people from the festival will be there. And that will set up a relationship for us to potentially play a future festival. But then I didn't have to do any of that. I ended up just playing the festival. It was insane. I can't believe I can even say I played Lollapalooza. How many people get to say that? Probably lots. But still. Crazy festival. Okay, but we got new dates. We got brand new dates. We're just announced. Friday, August 27th at Big B's in Hotchkiss, Colorado. That's right, Big B's in Hotchkiss, Colorado. Saturday, August 28th at UMS, the Underground Music Showcase in Denver, Colorado. If you live in Denver, come out to the shows. It's Sunday, August 29th at Fort Collins Museum, the Museum of Discovery in Fort Collins, Colorado. I think that one's going to be like a little mixer. You can come on by. I'm going to play some songs solo and answer some questions on how to be a band. Just announced Thursday, September 2nd through the 4th at the Peppermill Casino in Reno. That's right, baby. We're doing a casino residency from September 2nd to the 4th. That is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I will be DJing and we will be playing for 2 hours or something like that. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm very excited. And if you live in Reno, come hang out with us. Dude, the show is free, so come hang out with us every night. Like, I just want to hang out. If you live in Reno, come hang. Thursday, October 14th at Cornerstone in Berkeley. Friday, October 15th at the Atrium in Santa Cruz. Saturday, October 16th at the Starlet Room in Sacramento. Haven't been to Sacramento yet. Haven't played Berkeley yet. Oh, I played a house party in Berkeley. I could tell that story soon too. Tuesday, October 26th at Valley Bar in Phoenix. Wednesday, October 27th at Alibi Room in Palm Springs. If you live in Palm Springs, we just announced this show. Come on and hang out in Palm Springs. Thursday, October 28th, Casbah in San Diego. Shout out to all my people in San Diego. Come on out. Friday, October 29th at SOhO in Santa Barbara. Now, this is the hometown show. It's also Halloween weekend. Dress up. Come hang out at SOhO. Queen Tide and Alexandra Riordan. See, this is why I fucking suck. This is why I need to figure out people's last names. But we're playing a show October 29th, Halloween weekend at SOhO. The last 3 times we played SOhO, they've sold out. So this show will sell out. It's going to be 21 plus. And yeah, tickets will be in the link. All the tickets for these shows will be in the bio, and I'll probably leave a comment in the comment section. You should leave a comment in the comment section, and you should like and subscribe. But yeah, absolutely. That show has sold out 3 times in a row now. Santa Barbara's always a really fun time. It's the hometown show. We're going to play some new songs. We're going to play the record and play some old songs. Yeah, we'll probably play for like an hour or something. Really great. So yeah, let's talk about Reno. I love Reno. I played Reno a handful of times at the Holland Project with Nick Ing and Gardens and Via and like a few other people. Shout out to Jacob Rubrek. We played with him in at the Holland Project in Reno. I played twice. The first time with Gardens and Via, second time was a headlining show, and we stayed at the Peppermill. The Peppermill Casino in Reno. I think we stayed like on a Monday night, and I think that the rooms were about like $30, $15 or $30 with all the fees and taxes. It's so cheap and it's so awesome. It's such a weird town, you know. If you love Reno 911, it's exactly like that. You have to go to Reno. If you haven't been to Reno before, it's pretty wild. It's a very wild place, and it's so fun. And yeah, I got this random email from our agents. They said, "What would you guys think of a residency?" I remember I was at my friend Kyle McCormick's. It was at his birthday, and I got the email, and we were all just like drinking beers, and I was like, okay. I was like, I got a proposition for you guys. What do you think about this? Do you take this show? And I pitched it to everyone in the room, and they're like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And I was like, okay, I don't know, but you know what? I'm excited. September 2nd through the 4th at the Peppermill Casino. Dante Elephante, casino residency. That is just so funny. I think I'm starting to wrap my head around the idea, because Reno has changed so much in the years, and I get it. It's younger people. Like, people left San Francisco and moved to Reno. The wealthy Californians left California and moved to Reno. They moved to Boise, Idaho. And so Reno's demographics have changed. So why would you keep getting the same bands for these casinos that attract an older crowd? Get the young guys like me. I'm 31 years old. One of the young guys. But if you live in Reno and you're interested in coming to a free show, September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Virgo season, baby. It's going to get crazy. Let's wrap it up. Come to the shows, buy the merch, go to hellomerch.com/Dante Elephante. We have very few vinyl left of Mid-Century Modern Romance, and I'm only selling them at the shows. So if you are interested in a copy, come to the shows. That's it, man. Lollapalooza. Wild times. Can't believe I could say that. And I'm very happy to be home. I am self-quarantining just to be safe. I feel great. I feel 100% right now. I don't feel even a little bit weird. So I'm feeling good. Let's just keep it going. New tour dates are announced. Buy the merch. Sweet Nobody. They're from Long Beach. Enjoy the episode. All right, let's start off. Sweet Nobody.
Hello.
How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's fucking hot. Is it always hot?
Yep.
It's always this hot?
Feeling like it.
I'm feeling good. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know
I think
about everybody else.
I think you just get used to it. I don't know, man. Like, I have spent so little time in LA that I'm like, oh, this is brutal. In Santa Barbara, like, hot is like 80.
No.
Yeah.
People start complaining around like 78. It's like, what is going on over here? What the fuck is
Definitely,
happening?
Inland, it gets like really hot.
Really?
And like the breeze is like hot wind that's not really, it's just like so disappointing.
Yeah.
Brian thinks it's good. He likes it.
But Long Beach doesn't get it doesn't get
You
too
get a little
like-
bit of that sea breeze in Long
Oh
Beach.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
oh,
Casey. Like
definitely.
you might be the furthest inland.
I think
like,
I
of
am.
the four of us in
Yeah,
Orange.
and
How is it?
It's hot
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the time.
Really?
Yeah. But I like the nights. I like hot nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, that's enjoyable to me.
None of
But-
that sounds enjoyable to me.
No.
All of that sounds awful.
I love hot nights, just like
Permission to
Jonathan.
you know.
disagree.
Not in my house.
Yeah.
but-
Oh, okay. Outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
when you're just
yeah.
like cruising around, you want to have a t-shirt on, and it's like
Yeah,
you're not
yeah, I get
bundled up
that.
and shivering. Like
No,
I'd rather.
there's nothing worse
yeah.
than like when your feet are hot at night and they're
Right.
like already sticking out of the blankets, but like, and there's like a fan and it's still just like there's no
Yeah.
relief in sight.
sure.
Hot nights.
Wait, so what's the vibe in Long Beach right now? Where do you play? Are there bands? Who made it through the pandemic? Who survived? Because I'm trying to figure that out now. Like in Santa
Yeah.
Barbara, people like, hey, I want to play a show, man. Like, what bands are left? I was like, I don't know. Who made it through the pandemic? Like,
Yeah,
you guys
there's,
did.
There's a couple venues in town. I mean, honestly, I think there's really three main ones. I think there's
Yeah.
Alex's Bar, and there's Que Sera, and there's 4th Street Vine, which is now called Vine.
Oh, it's just Vine now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which like Dustin Lovelace, I think he owns it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
Oh,
owns
really?
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's keeping
Crazy.
it a music venue, which is so cool, and it's cool to play like at a venue that's owned by a musician.
Right.
Like you look behind the counter there, and it's like beer, and then it's like 1/4-inch cables and extra
Right,
guitar picks
right.
and guitar strings in case you break one.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're playing there with Pageants, who is doing like a record release show on
Yeah.
the 30th.
That's good.
So Pageants is definitely, they made it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pageants made it.
That's something I've been thinking about too, like how to start these things off. Yeah, I think we should start it off with just like promoting your dates, what's coming up. Like, you have that show, are there more? Is there a tour lined up? Where are we at?
Oh, we wish. But
yeah.
yeah, we have some shows.
Okay, promote the shows early, because
Yeah. We're doing the 30th at Vine with Pageants for their record release, and then
August 7th at the Wayfair in Costa Mesa.
okay,
That's going to be with a band called Pop Club. They used to be called Blanco Nino.
cool,
And a band called Widow's Gold.
cool.
And then
we're also
the next
doing
show.
we're doing
Oh yeah.
29th
Happy Sundays,
Happy
Long
Sundays
Beach.
in Long Beach. We're still getting information about that one, but that's
Yeah.
in the
Great.
works as well.
And then September 16th, album release show.
Really?
At Commissary Lounge in Costa Mesa. So, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I guess it's all coming up then, man.
It's all coming up.
It's all happening.
We're finally back. Everyone's back. Let's go to shows.
I don't know. We hope so, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
I know that's the thing. It's like, well, the mask mandate is kind of like back.
It's kind of
LA.
back.
It's back in Long Beach as well.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't obviously seen it yet because I think it starts midnight tonight.
I think so. Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
I don't know. I still wear
No,
masks.
I was
So
thinking
what is it-
about.
so what
I
is
was
it-
thinking about your show, like that's coming up.
I have a show.
right?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a show on
Like-
Saturday.
Like it's still going
Next
on.
Saturday,
though,
yeah.
Okay, good.
But people are gonna have to wear masks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If that's it, then that should be fine. I think it sounds scarier than what it actually is gonna be. Like they're not limiting like the amount of people in a room,
Yeah.
Totally.
which could be good because then I could just be like, oh, well, people didn't show up because not
Yeah.
because I didn't draw. People just.
It's
Yeah.
always
You know,
good.
people are scared. That's why a lot of people didn't show up tonight. Like, I have an excuse, a little built-in excuse
It's
to why I
always
didn't
good
draw
to have
well.
a reason, you know.
Right.
Oh well, it was Dollar Wing night at the place next door, so
You know,
Yeah.
you can't
That's
compete
where
with
everybody
you can't
was.
compete with the dollar wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dollar Wings.
We've been
Dodgers
burned
are
by
playing.
Dollar
Dodgers are
Come on,
playing. That's a
people-
big one. I feel like that. Yeah. There's always an excuse.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. If they're not limiting the amount of people who can come into the venue, then I think just wear the mask. Come to the show.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
be dumb. Like
It's
keep
just
your
a-
mask.
it's
Why
a
do
small
you need your mask
sacrifice.
off? Like
Yeah.
I don't mind.
you're not
asking
singing.
them to do
Like you're just watching the show. Shut up and watch the show. Like,
Yeah. Right.
you can still talk to your friends like while I'm playing. Like
Yeah. You can do
Yeah.
You can dance too. You
you
can
can do
anything you want.
Yeah, you can
You know?
literally do anything you want. You just have to wear a
Other
mask.
than
Like,
spit on
Yeah.
people, you know, which we don't
On
want.
a
that.
side note, though, like, how do you feel about people singing at shows in general? Like, not along with us, but like, if you're there and you're there to see like whoever
Yeah.
you're going to see, and like people are really like all around you singing along. Like,
Yeah.
how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
like in general or in these
Just
times.
in general. No,
Oh.
just in general.
Yeah, I feel like I was always jealous of those bands that had really easy lyrics that
Yeah.
people could like yell at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, I don't have any lyrics like that where people could just yell them back at me. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I should have written some shit like that. But
Yeah.
I always wanted that.
Oh yeah. I mean, if there's like anyone singing along with anything,
That's
you're doing,
cool,
It's
yeah.
always like, oh, what? Like it's amazing.
It's insane. Yeah.
But I just wonder. I went to a show one time and I was like, I was singing along, and like the friend that I went with was like, "Hey, shut up! Like
really?
no one came here to hear you sing these songs.
Wow, brutal.
Like
Fuck,
keep
dude.
it down."
God damn.
Yeah.
You must have been singing loud.
I was.
You're stoked.
I was harmonizing. I was like, yeah.
I feel like-
I was into it.
As an audience member, I don't know. Sometimes I feel a little self-conscious. If like
Okay.
everyone's singing along
Oh,
to
sure.
the song, and I'm like maybe new to the band and got like invited, I'm just like,
yeah.
just like saying watermelon, but like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know
Whoa.
the song.
For me, it's
Yeah.
just like nothing, and then like the two words I know, I'll
And mumbling
sing,
along.
and then nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I
like,
feel like
oh,
that's
humming,
kinda-
I know the melody. I
Yeah.
don't know the words.
I feel like that happens at every Oasis show when Wonderwall comes on. It's like
Oh, yeah.
people know the chorus, they don't know the verses.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know.
Gotta pick your pals.
So it's just it gets louder when it's maybe everybody comes in.
There's the one person I would say that like it doesn't work with is Kurt Vile. I went to a Kurt Vile
Okay.
show and I was like trying to sing along, but he fucks with every melody of every
Oh,
song.
okay.
So he doesn't sing it the right way.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he sings it the right way, it's just
Sure.
not the way I know.
Yeah.
And no one can sing along with him because he just changes all of it.
I wonder if that's why he does it, because he hates
Yeah,
when people sing.
I swear to God, he probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's like, no, I want to sing Pretty Pimpin'. I don't want to hear you sing Pretty
Yeah, and
I
then
love
it's
that
like,
song.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, so when he was doing Baby Arms, I was like, this is it. Can't wait to sing along. And I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
So cruel.
I know.
I mean, I really admire that because, like, if I'm playing a show, I'm nervous. Like, I need to like know what I'm doing back and forth, like
Yeah.
backwards and forwards. I'm not gonna be throwing new things in.
Totally. I think that's like the plus of just playing by yourself and being like a solo artist, that you can just like, I'll just fuck around tonight.
Yeah.
And like, what happened? I don't have to be responsible for anybody else's like
Yeah.
performances.
Yeah.
And that's where like the whole like, you know, being in a band and like, okay, I hope the drummer doesn't fuck up tonight. Okay, I hope that thing we practiced, hope we all remembered that we're supposed to
Yeah.
do that tonight. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of trust, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's why kids should get into music, like to learn how to trust people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communicate.
And communicate.
Absolutely. Like,
for sure.
I did orchestra when I was a kid, and it was
Really?
very like it's such a collaborative thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You would think it's just like read your lines, read your notes.
Right.
No,
But I
'cause,
guess you
like,
do have to trust other
You
people.
have a stand partner, so you have a person that like shares your music with you and like
Yeah.
kind of keeps you accountable, and then the conductor is like You better be looking
What'd you play in the orchestra?
Violin.
Oh.
Yeah. That was my first instrument. Started at 11, and I was like doing the classical music thing, and I was like deep into it.
Do you still have the chops? Can you still play violin?
I still do play sometimes. I don't play regularly because we live in an apartment, and I just feel self-conscious about people being able to hear me.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like violin's very hard to play, and like, you know, that like barrier of entry, I'm just learning to like, oh, I can make this sound decent.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's extra brutal on
Yeah,
violin.
there's a margin of
It's just
error,
like straight like cats
on guitar. There's
meowing,
plenty
like,
of like ways you can play guitar that are acceptable.
nice and
Yeah.
quiet. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why I love piano, because you can just press a button and it makes a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eric
Yeah.
Tompkinson is here, everyone. Yeah. The audience.
like
Yeah,
you can.
I'll get a camera one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on getting him like a GoPro.
A little square pops
we were,
up.
we were talking about it earlier. Like,
Yeah.
how do we get Eric involved?
Let's do that guy in the
Yeah,
But,
but it's like
yeah.
you can be Johnny Ramone and get away with it,
Right.
And because that's fine, you can do that. You don't
Drums is
have to
another
be-
one though.
Yeah,
Oh,
drums
yeah.
is kind of like,
It's like,
that's fine,
oh.
too.
Yeah.
From like month one to
Yeah.
like the first or second year when you finally start getting it,
Yeah,
it's brutal.
And it's just so repetitive, and it's like all
Yeah.
your neighbors are like, okay, I've heard
It's
the
like-
same beat for 2 hours.
Totally, and it's really off, and it's all fucked up, and you're like, oh, I kind of got it. Yeah.
yeah.
I taught violin for like 10 years. And it was like I would be in the studio, and like I would have my little cubicle, and I'm teaching some kid who's like on the struggle bus, and then like next door is a trumpet teacher
Yeah.
who's like teaching some kid like Star Wars. And like the two sounds are bleeding together.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's just like when is this over?
Yeah, totally. No, that same thing with I was taking drum lessons, and like the rooms are pretty soundproof, but not 100% soundproof. So you're trying to work on your thing, and then you just hear somebody else doing something completely different. You're like, oh fuck, I can't even focus on what I'm
It
doing.
is
Like,
Yeah.
very distracting, like as a teacher too, and sometimes it was just so funny. Like
Yeah.
I have a few sneaky recordings of like of like a kid who was trying to learn how to play the tango on his trumpet,
Right.
and it was not. It
Yeah.
was entertaining, but it wasn't going well.
it's pretty wild. Like, I never understood. Now I get it, but like when I wasn't paying, like, you know, my teacher would give me an assignment, like, hey, I want you to learn this part by next practice, and then you don't do it, and that they could tell you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
just thought they
felt
did.
like-
Oh, he's never gonna know. I'm just gonna fucking wing
Yeah.
it. And then he's like, you didn't do anything I told you to do this week.
Yeah.
I
like
felt
that
like
happened
the
all the
times
time.
that like I practiced really hard, I would go in and my teacher would be like, well, you didn't do anything this week, did you? And then like the weeks I didn't practice, I'd go in and nail it. And
Yeah.
she'd be like, great job practicing this week.
Like, fooled you.
It's like when you try to write a book report about a book that you haven't read. but,
Right.
Like you just get enough of the synopsis that your teacher's like, hey, great job.
Even that's changed a lot too. Like when I was in high school, I went to high school from 2004 to 2008, and there wasn't nearly the amount of websites or like YouTube videos of people explaining. I was like, oh man, high school would have been a lot easier.
Spark Notes was like just starting
Just
to come
the
about.
thing,
Like,
yeah.
for sure. And
man.
it wasn't super reliable
No,
yet
and it
either.
sucked. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I could have done high school a lot easier now.
Oh yeah.
Now that I'm
Oh, yeah.
30, yeah, I can do it. I could do high school now. I
Yeah.
think I can handle high school at 30. That's what I've gone down
I
to.
still have nightmares about being back in
Yes.
school, like all the time.
All the time.
It's like
What's your nightmares?
the main one is there's two. One is either I am back in kindergarten, but I'm my
Oh.
age, and I have to start school from scratch for some reason.
Yeah.
So
like Billy
I'm
Madison.
Right.
I'm my age, but I'm in kindergarten. Or it's like I'm a senior in high school. It's the last week of school, and I realize like I haven't been to class all year, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to graduate.
That's the one I have.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know where my English class is, and if I don't get there right now, like I'm gonna fail.
What the hell? Yeah, I hate that. I think like also I just stress about like it's gonna take me so long to go through school again. Like
Exactly.
I already know how long it took. It's gonna take
Yeah.
me years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13 more years.
13
of
more
torture.
years of this, yeah. No, I've had those same exact dreams, and I actually live like very close to my high school, like so close I can hear the bell ring.
Oh,
so,
shoot.
like,
Memories.
so it's like it
That's
never
triggering.
ends. It never ends.
Yeah.
It's very triggering.
Yeah.
And I see it was kind of nice last year because there was no kids.
Oh, yeah.
And there was
yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
there, and it was really nice. And then when things started lifting, I heard like the drum line, like the school band that I was in, and I got kicked out of that same drum line.
Oh, no.
I heard them practicing because they practiced in front of the lawn right by my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, they're back.
You hear that
Damn it, dude.
metronome, like,
Those dude, that's super loud, like ding ding.
Yeah.
like, very loud.
Yeah.
like the loudest metronome you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then I remember some of the neighbors came by and they wanted to sign a petition to make the band practice somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
And then my dad didn't sign it. He was like, "Oh, my son did that." I was like, "I did for a summer, Dad." And then they kicked me out, like, because I couldn't march.
Why are you being
Oh, you
loyal
couldn't
to
I
them?
couldn't march.
Dude, I thought like, did they try to get you to go to like a band camp?
Not to.
anything?
Well,
No.
there was like the summer course where we learned how to march and
Yeah.
and like
See,
worked out and
that-
stuff.
I remember like getting something in the mail about that because I was like going into band from like eighth grade
to ninth.
into ninth. And I remember getting something in the mail about it and being like, that sounds dumb. And I
Yeah.
just followed it up and threw it away. And then I showed up to school the first day and they were like, where were you? You're supposed to be here for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
learning
getting
how to
ready.
march.
Yeah. Okay, so
I didn't get kicked out. I got demoted to cymbals.
oh,
They just
okay.
threw me. I was playing bass drum or whatever, and they're like, no. It's like
Wow.
a punishment. We're
I
gonna
got
give you
demoted
cymbals.
to vibes.
Oh,
And then I was like, I'm
Vibes
done.
are
Because you're
fun.
stationary, right? You're just
Stationary.
like
You don't
in
have to
the
march.
field, yeah.
And it's like, but I didn't know
Yeah.
like piano or guitar yet.
Oh,
I was
shoot.
just a drummer.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
like, what are these notes?
So
I don't
like
know any.
part of this makes
It's like
sense.
kind of yeah. The drumming part makes sense,
Yeah.
but the actual notes and keys
Yeah.
and theory make no sense.
Oh,
and
wow.
reading that shit either, because I could
Yeah.
drum music is easier to read than.
It
I
is.
lost all that though.
Yeah.
I lost all those.
I
skills.
faked it though most of the way
Really?
until like senior year. I think I finally kind of figured out like I kind of know what I'm doing.
Oh, they tested all of us to see
Oh,
if we
really?
could sight read.
They tested me too, but
Yeah.
I just faked it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
We were just talking in the car on the way here how there's like so many different types of musical intelligence.
Yeah.
And how like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to thrive on music theory to
Right.
thrive as a musician. And like just it's cool how it shapes people into like different genres.
I just
and
started
Yeah.
teaching myself like music theory like
Yeah.
during the pandemic, like on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like oh, and it's like, and what is music theory? It's just like giving me names
Yeah.
to shit that I already knew.
Yes.
It's like,
Exactly.
it's like
Yes,
oh, okay, so there's just a name for that thing.
Yeah,
okay.
like you already
Yeah.
have the instinct.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, it's all the
it's
instinct.
The like, yeah, it. Sometimes I feel like it's kind of like learning how a magician does their tricks. Like
Yeah.
it somehow takes a little bit of the magic away for me. Like I
Yeah.
can do it, but I'm also like unless I'm making a chart or something, like
Totally.
I don't really need to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like I took like 2 music theory classes in college, failed both of them.
Oh, okay.
But in the classes I was like, oh wait, I know to do that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know like
What it was called.
what it was
was
called
called.
and why, and like
Yeah.
I was just more of a feeling thing, which is
Totally.
like, that's I don't know. I guess that's just more where I thrive is like just feeling it.
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
you kind of like grew up on rock and roll, like all of our favorite musicians just kind of like did it too. They just wung it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, John Lennon just did it. He didn't like think like, oh, I'm gonna do this because it's in the Lydian scale, and then
Yeah.
so it makes this is what we do now. And
Yeah.
I mean, he might have known those things, but
yeah,
Yeah, I wonder if it's kind of the same in sports. Like if you took like a professional basketball player and gave them like a written test about basketball, or
Yeah.
like different strategies, or like
yeah, because not everyone's a coach. Like
Yeah.
in sports, like some people
And some-
people are just
yeah, and
they're more
sometimes-
up here and they can-
totally. And you just like you watch other players and you figure out like, oh, okay, that was a good move. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that next time I do this thing,
Mhm.
or whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. I've
Some
never
people
thought
are
about that
just-
before.
yeah different styles and
Yeah.
different wavelengths of intelligence.
I always
Yeah.
get like irritated with people when they act like there's like one way of healthy discipline to like be a
Yeah.
songwriter or to
Yeah.
do certain things, because it's like, you know, some people can sit down and write a song every day like as an exercise and some people don't, but it doesn't mean like, oh, the person who writes every day is a way better songwriter than
Totally.
the person who doesn't. It's just, you know, I can write a lot of songs that aren't necessarily good songs.
Right.
And I do write a lot of songs that aren't necessarily good songs. But, you know, I don't like it when people try to like put defining terms
Yeah,
around
and rules.
Yeah.
I think it comes from people wanting to like figure out how to do it themselves. So
Yeah.
like everyone's like looking at like, well, how does this person write? How does this person write? And then, but like when you start doing that, you realize like, well, everyone writes completely different.
Yeah.
Like literally, like everyone has a different process
Yeah.
and method, and
Totally.
it's like you just have to be comfortable with finding your own
Yeah.
like way of doing it.
And like I'm not gonna even do it the same way every time.
Yeah.
Like I
Totally.
Yeah.
that would
you
be
might not have a
boring.
process.
That
Yeah.
would be boring.
Yeah,
to me.
sometimes the melody comes first. Sometimes you know you just have this thing that keeps lingering around. Like,
Yeah.
I like those chords.
Sometimes
but-
you're in the tub and you're singing a song and realizing it's your song.
Yeah.
I thought somebody else wrote that, but no, I think I made it up.
It's crazy. Like, yeah, those moments in the shower in the tub where it's like, oh, when you finally have that break from your phone.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's when ideas show up.
And then your
it's like,
hands are
oh,
wet
and then you're like, maybe I
like-
should not be on my phone all the fucking time. Maybe I should take a break.
For me, I'm like, I have to get out and get my hands dry so
Yeah.
like I can record this idea
Yeah.
like as soon as possible.
No, yeah, that's been a big goal of mine, is just to get off the phone. And, but, you know, I work in social media marketing, so I'm
Yeah.
always fucking on it, man. But, like, yeah, showers or, like, a drive, like, after I finish DJing Ventura, I drive home. It takes, like, 30 minutes. That's when the melody will pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay.
Same, like always driving and I'm like trying to open a voice memo and not kill anyone.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be a better way.
Now, there is something to be said for just like unstructured time.
Right.
That doesn't really have like a necessary purpose.
Totally.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of good stuff that comes
When,
out of that.
with your guys' songs, are you writing them independently and then bring them to the group and then you guys flesh it out with practice, or what's the...
Yeah, it's kind of like a trickle down. So I write the songs and then I'll take it to Brian because, you know, we live together.
Right.
And he will, you know, he'll take whatever demo I've made. I've added the parts I want to it and then he'll add parts to it. And then like we'll take it to practice and be like, you know, do you guys have ideas for guitar parts or bass parts? And yeah, some of them like Brian and I have done ourselves and a lot of them like we've all worked on together.
And then as far as demos, are GarageBand, Pro Tools, Logic, what are you...
100% garage.
Yeah,
band.
totally.
iPad,
Like,
GarageBand.
iPad GarageBand,
No,
yes, I
like-
am on that wave, dude.
I am on-
iPad GarageBand.
It really, yeah.
I am on iPhone 6 GarageBand.
There you
Like,
go, iPhone
every
6
I was gonna
GarageBand.
say it's the future, but I think it's just the present.
It's-
I think it's it's just
It's a-
what
yeah,
really
it
is.
just is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. It just serves the purpose, and I'm gonna re-record it later. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. And
It's
then
just easy.
you take these files, or you just take an MP3 and then you write on top of it some riffs, or...
Yeah, so like, I'll usually bounce a session from Joy's phone to my phone.
Cool.
And then I'll mess around with it a bit. Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately we just know these are just demos. Things are gonna change once we actually get into the studio.
maybe-
really
Or maybe
like.
they
Not
don't.
though.
And
That's
maybe
the
they
thing. It's like we have taken some elements from those demos.
Yeah.
And those have made it to like the final.
Right.
I like how
Yeah.
casual demos are. Like
Yeah.
it seems like sort of a candid moment,
Yeah.
you know, which I appreciate because sometimes things are so polished that it's distracting.
Yeah, totally.
I like the moments when it's like, oh, my cat was like trying to dig the blinds open in
Mm-hmm.
the background when I was recording this part.
Totally. And sometimes there is something to that. Like I've had like friends who release a project. It's like, oh, I really want to record this song, and then you listen to the demo and it's rad, and you're like, I think
Sometimes you like
what
the
you're
demo
looking
more.
for is
The demo,
there
yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, and redoing it is just gonna actually be a disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gonna make it cleaner,
Yeah.
which is like.
And you need people who will be honest enough with you to tell you that.
Yeah.
Like your demo is better than what you were going to record in the studio.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Eric were just talking about that earlier, just like releasing the ego from the studio and from this whole process.
Yeah.
And like the quicker you can do that, I don't know if it's just a shrooming experience or just like doing the inner work.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the quicker you can just strip away your ego being in a band, the
Yeah.
easier and way less. It's when I was like holding onto my band's project by the throat and like it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Then nothing happened. Nothing great
Yeah.
happened. You know, because I was so concerned about it being awesome versus being like, this is a great idea. Let's just do this.
Absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
fun.
You just
Yeah.
get yourself, you like work yourself into a bad headspace about
Yeah.
it. Because it's like the perfectionism comes out and like you're in a self-critical space and it's like,
Yeah.
does good music come from that? Like under duress, like sometimes, but it's cool to like learn how to not be so precious about it and
Totally.
have fun and let people give you input. And you know, I need people to listen to things. And when I have a demo, sometimes like if I've made it sort of in a vacuum, I'm alone, I need to hear it in front of someone else who's hearing it for the first time in order to know if it's actually good or not. Because there's things I've made by myself that I'm like, this is so good. And then I'll play it for someone and I'll be like, this is the worst thing ever.
Adam, I think you're that person at the moment, right?
What's up?
You're my sounding board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every summer, this is kind of, I'm not really supposed to know this.
Well,
But
But
it
I do.
happens every year.
He
so.
knows the circumstances
know about it?
of it.
Well, I know you're like the point person.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's this
Nice.
process? When do they bring you in?
They bring. No, so Brian has a birthday every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Every year.
Kind of happens every year. Yeah.
He has an
every year.
annual birthday, and we will sometimes. Well, I think you've done it for a long time, but we'll write songs for him.
Cool.
Just like little demos.
It's a little
you know?
birthday
Yeah.
album.
Oh, that's
Little
cool.
It's like
birthday
a
present.
lo-fi birthday
Yeah.
album.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
But Joy writes a bunch of them, and like she needs someone to send it to, just to have a backup and like also like opinions, and like I've been that guy
Nice.
this year, and it's been awesome because
Oh, that's cool.
songs are like
Yeah.
Will those come out?
They
In our
kinda do
house.
Sometimes
sometimes.
they do.
They do?
Yeah,
on
sometimes.
this, on like the record that we're gonna release in September, there's one song that was like a birthday song
Sweet.
Yeah.
from one of those birthday albums.
Oh,
And
that's
then
awesome.
There's an EP that we're kind of working on as well, which I guess that
Those-
really wasn't for my birthday, but that was just like.
But that was sort of my first venture into doing that, because I was like just sick of writing about my own life.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna try to write like only about characters from this movie, and like just as a challenge to myself, I was like, I wonder how many songs I can write just in one day. So
Yeah.
like I sat down and I wrote 6 songs like in a day and like demoed all of them, which is still like. It's still as it is like the demo of this EP that we're gonna record. So yeah.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to do it for
Long
a
time.
few years
Cool.
now. It's
Yeah, that's like, that challenge, these little like songwriting challenges that you have to kind of put on yourself. Like, at least for me, the biggest challenge is like, I don't know what to write about. Like, I usually write about my life.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I didn't do anything last year.
I know. It
Like,
takes,
what do I talk
honestly,
about? And I
like-
don't want to talk about the pandemic because that's
Yeah.
just so
No, yeah.
boring to me.
Yeah.
I do this. I talk about the pandemic here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need
It's
to do
like
that in my
what to
music.
relive. I ate way too many Cheetos,
Right.
and I was bored. I watched a lot of movies.
Yeah. I tried to write, didn't
Yeah.
play, I don't know. There was
Not
some.
sponsored by Cheetos.
this
Not
song's
sponsored
about
by Cheetos.
isolation.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, everyone's songs are going to be about,
Yeah.
oh, you
Yeah.
stayed home?
It's called Isolation.
Yeah, it's
I think
by
at
John
a
Lennon.
point,
yeah.
like, I think at a point you don't want to relive it anymore.
No,
No.
especially, yeah.
Yeah, which is why it's great to like dive into a fantasy land of like writing about fictional characters
Right.
or like books that you like, and it's been like such a fun challenge for me just because I think it's hard for people to like write what they don't feel or what they
Right.
don't know sometimes, and I've had that issue before, and I like to try to like make it a practice of getting into someone else's perspective and
Totally.
or just like telling an interesting story and sort of living vicariously through it.
Right, yeah. I wrote a song about the show 90 Day Fiancé. That's my favorite show.
I'm
That is
gonna-
my favorite show.
Gonna need to hear that.
I will send it to you. Yeah. It's out. Yeah, it's like what we did every Sunday. Like my girlfriend would come over, we'd hang out with my dad, watch 90 Day Fiancé. So it's
Yeah.
like, in a way, that's about the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's
not.
about your bonding experience
Yeah.
during that time, and it's about
But it's about the show
90
and the
Day
drama of the show.
yeah.
The show's amazing. You watched the show?
Yeah, I have a
You got
bunch
excited
of-
when I said 90
Oh,
Day Fiancé. You felt that. You're like,
felt
oh yeah,
it.
Sunday.
All of my songs are written about Big Ed.
Yeah. Big Ed energy, man. I love that
Big
fucking
Ed
guy.
energy.
Wow. Have you watched The Single Life? Do you have Discovery Plus? Are you subscribed to the new streaming service?
What's the single? I don't have the single. left.
Okay, cool. So The Single Life is just a show on Discovery Plus, and it's
Yeah.
like Big Ed going on dates and stuff.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
That's.
In San Diego. It's
I know what you're
brutal.
doing
Nah,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
It's not that.
This has
expensive,
been great.
we were talking about streaming fatigue earlier before everyone showed up. Like, I'm getting tired of like streaming and subscription fatigue, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got a fucking subscription service now, and
It's so annoying.
I don't really use Netflix anymore, but I'm still paying for it every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
My whole family and like 49 people I don't know where they came from are all like on our
Right.
account somehow.
Yeah,
I'm like,
which is
well,
fine. It's
if I
like
get
it's
rid of
getting-
it,
it's
I'm
good.
gonna be
Yeah.
letting a
It's
lot
getting
of
used.
people
It's
down.
getting used, yeah.
Well, and we've been watching I Think You Should Leave.
oh yeah.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Quite a bit lately.
Yes.
So
In
In fact,
that
on the way
is
here,
well
we're
worth
like,
the whatever
half this interview is
$12.99.
just going to be,
I think you should
leave reference.
Yeah. Well, that's good
I think we
because
got those out in the car, though. So
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
good because I just finished season 2.
Yeah.
Because I kept
Yeah.
seeing the memes pop up. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck
So
am I
good.
missing? Oh no, because I watched season 1 really quickly, so I was
Yeah.
like on
Yeah.
top of it.
Yeah.
There was a few moments in season 2 where I was like dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
we
you
had
watch
like a
season
watch
1 when
party.
it was like when it came out?
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean we did as well, but like I kind of felt like no one really knew about it.
Mhm.
But maybe that's just like I don't spend a whole lot of
Right.
time I don't spend any time on Twitter.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people talk about it.
So yeah, I was always like shocked if there was anyone like on Instagram that like dropped
Would
a
share a
reference.
meme or something,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was like, wait, what? They know about that too?
Yeah. Especially the old man in the car. Like everyone knew that one. So I was like, okay, that one broke through
Yeah.
to like a popular side of culture, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's a few like I can't remember one from the season 2 that had me rolling. It was the dude with the cap, the hat that also had the safari like background.
Oh, the safari flaps.
Yeah, the
And,
safari
like,
flaps. That one stuck out to me to be the craziest one.
Yeah.
He's like, how much was the hat? You can't ask me that.
I love the Claire's video.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Claire's is really good
that
too.
one was just so existential and
Yeah,
so bizarre.
that one was yeah.
Which is great because I mean all of those take like such great like left turns.
Totally.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that show
Love the
Detroiters? It was like the project he did before.
Yeah.
No.
That was like
Yeah.
on Comedy
Oh, yeah, you guys
Central.
have
Yeah,
Like
that show's great.
Really?
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
some homework to do.
Definitely worth a
you
watch.
Definitely
Big
worth
Ed,
the watch.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Detroiters. Yeah.
Detroiters.
we
It's-
may also need to know about Big Ed. I don't know. I'm kind of
Oh yeah, yeah, Big Ed. You definitely have seen him. He's the guy with like no neck, and he's dating a girl the age of his daughter, and it's like yeah,
Whoa.
Wow.
it's wild
For 90 days.
for 90
See
days.
my face.
Whoa.
Yes, and it's pretty crazy,
close
like
up.
because his girlfriend in the Philippines is like is bi or
Something-
gay,
yeah,
and
there's
then
just,
when you
like, so
rewatch
much-
it, you're just like, oh,
What?
that's why she's so repulsed by him. Like that's why she doesn't want to kiss him because I don't think she likes men. Like fuck, it's like so awkward.
Maybe that's just
I
what
feel
she
so bad
told
for
him,
her.
though. Maybe it was like she just
No.
wasn't into him, and so
No,
she's
she has like a
well,
girlfriend now.
okay.
Like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like live your truth. I'm all for
Yeah.
it. Like, but yeah, it was brutal. It's really cringy to see Ed make advances on her. And it's like, oh
I
man,
don't even know him. I don't know what he looks like.
you like him, and
already
then you start to be like, oh, he's
No.
kind of a douchebag actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
he
Already.
turns,
Yeah.
not
and he's
a
he's like on Cameo. He's so
Yeah,
like
it's, like,
self-promoting,
very-
trying to make money off his brand.
Huh.
Yeah, so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of negative faces.
No, yeah. That's the joyride of Big Ed. You're like, oh, this guy's funny, and then you watch it, like, oh, fuck this guy. What
Yeah.
the fuck? What happened? You were so nice in the first season, like
Yeah.
you're a douchebag now.
Ugh.
Most of the men on that show are kind of assholes though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it.
You can, yeah, it's like a hate watch, and then you're laughing at them, and then you're like, I don't care if that girl was ghosting you or wasn't real. You deserve it. You're a douchebag. Like,
Yeah.
you hate watch it. It's fun though.
It's
A
a
lot of
show
it is
you
just
love to
like,
hate.
you're like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
yep.
this is so bad.
It's a show you love to hate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, which we I mean, I don't know if you ever, I mean, you probably like watch certain movies that are just like so bad that you can like
They're
make
good.
fun of them and
Yeah.
you enjoy it. Like what is that movie for you? Off the top of your
Well,
head?
obviously the easy one is The Room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the easy one. You
Yeah.
can start there.
Yeah.
What's another bad one? What's another one I thought was really? I don't know. There's a couple of them. After I watched Walk Hard, I couldn't watch like Walk the Line anymore.
Yeah.
Like that ruined it for me.
Yeah.
So,
Ruined like all biopics for you.
Yes.
Honestly, we have like a deep love of just like bad biopics.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they
Which
are
most of them are
some
great.
of them are great, but a lot of them are just like because you're trying to recreate an icon with a different
Right.
person. Like it's never going to be as good. It's going to be like a little weird.
and you're
Yeah.
and you're trying to tell the story of a life in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my problem with biopics is like everything goes to shit in the 70s. Like
Right.
invariably, like the clothes get
Right.
horrible. Everybody is like dying of overdoses.
Right,
Like,
totally.
The lighting is always like really dim
gets dark
and
and
orange,
depressing.
yeah.
70s got dark. Yeah.
The 70s, it's
small
like
color
came
grade
in.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
no matter what biopic it is, it's like the 70s is where they're like losing everything.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. That's when Brian Wilson's
Once you
just stuck
notice
in
it, you
bed,
can't
Totally.
unnotice
not doing
it.
anything.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
like James
I have
Brown
been listening to some of that 70s Wilson stuff.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
you know,
I've been
like
meaning to
Surf's
kinda-
Up and
yeah, I've been meaning
some
to
of that
kinda revisit
really
some of
dark like Beach Boys stuff is so rad.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Interesting time.
It's super weird time, and they're like touring without him,
Yeah.
kind of how they do now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I have a weird connection with Mike Love. Mike Love lives in Santa Barbara.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, so is Bruce Johnson.
Oh, wow,
So you'll see
okay.
Bruce. I've seen Bruce a couple times. I haven't
No
seen Mike
way.
Love, but I hate Mike Love.
Yeah.
Do you
I
wanna
don't
see
even know
Mike
him,
Love?
but I hate him.
I would be kind of curious to like meet the Beach
Just to
Boys
see him
fan.
around.
No, just like meet
Oh.
the Beach Boys fan. Like, no, you know what? Mike Love is the real genius.
Well,
of
hey
that
man,
band.
he was the lead singer.
Yeah,
He's like the worst lead
but,
singer
like,
of all
you
time.
know that fan is out there somewhere that's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, Brian Wilson, no, overrated.
Yeah,
Mike
overrated.
Love was really like
He wrote Kokomo, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was really trying to keep them on the right track of
Right,
writing
right.
about surfing and girls and
Yeah.
cars, and then like Brian just ruined it with Van Dyke Parks. And,
Yeah, totally.
like that person's out there that like.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I'd be kind of curious to meet that person.
Oh, they have a nice paying job. They hang out with Mike Love.
They're just a Mike Love.
They're Mike
Teddy.
Love's
Yeah, they're just a
lawyer.
Mike Love
Like,
Totally.
yeah,
They're Mike Love's lawyers.
they love it. Yeah, they're all for it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, but like I feel like me listening to music actually went down in the pandemic. I did not just like listen to music. I don't know. What was your
Listening habits during the
media
pandemic?
consumption?
Yeah.
It was mostly television, movies.
You know what? I think I'd resisted like listening to anything on Spotify for a long time.
Yeah.
So I kind of like got into Spotify because during the pandemic I was doing like grocery delivery for Safeway. So I was like driving one of their trucks and like just
Oh, good. You didn't have to use your own car.
didn't have to use my own
That's
car,
awesome.
which was nice because my car is not refrigerated.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be great, though.
It'd be great if it was. But yeah, so I mean, I was just like
Anytime.
plugging my phone into the
rad.
stereo and yeah. So I was listening to a lot of like
Oh,
new
cool.
stuff, and I would send Joy some stuff I was listening to every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, we started a fake blog
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
just for the two of us called First Impressions with Joy Buttons.
Yeah.
And, like, he would just send me a song, and I would only listen to it one time, and I would just, like, give my impression of the song based on, like, a very short listening window.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
no
I would,
context,
like,
nothing.
no context at all, like, no information about the band or their release, and then I would just
Yeah,
be like,
which is interesting.
I feel like that's not far off to how actual consumers work.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
for consumers, sure, but like for
Absolutely.
people writing about music,
Oh,
I feel like
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
they're reading as much as they possibly can.
You would think, yeah.
beforehand.
They
but,
might
Yeah.
even
Get
listen
get some
to it.
context.
I don't know. People have gotten information about our release so wrong.
Oh, really?
sometimes,
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we were laughing. We were talking about the episode that you did with
Matt
with
Vasquez.
with Matt Vasquez.
Oh,
And
yeah.
We kind of discussed that, and we were like, oh yes, like we're seeing that because this album cycle is the first time we've ever worked with like PR,
Yeah.
which has been awesome.
it's been
like,
so great.
Like yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the guys
shout out
we
to
were
John Cohill.
working- Yes, man.
Yes.
Like shout out to Forcefield. Like they
Yeah.
have like
They've
kind of
been so
saved
great.
this record
Really?
from like just being buried. I think.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Force Field's
'cause
really rad.
They're great.
Yeah, they've been so
Um,
helpful.
Yeah, so it was but it was funny to like to hear him talk about how a lot of people that write about music, like they'll just take the release and kind of like
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the release.
Here's the
which is
release.
nice. I
I'll
mean,
just
it's-
rewrite your press release
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
But then they'll
Which
put
makes
in like
sense.
Yeah.
wrong names or like wrong
Sometimes they'll get
dates.
some
Like
things
someone
wrong.
Yeah.
said their release date was totally the wrong day.
Oh no.
It's just so funny to like, because it's like a game of telephone. It's just
Yeah.
funny to see like, I'm curious where everything will end up. I'm excited to see how wrong.
Yeah. Well, at least you guys can play some shows around the release. It was like I released a record at the
Hopefully.
beginning of the year, and it was just like, I don't know, maybe things will get better soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
I
we
don't know.
were like in that boat. We had this record like done and ready to go.
How long
like,
has it been?
before the pandemic?
Oh, before the
hit.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And like we were like, do we just like self-release this thing
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
now? Well, like everybody is bummed out and just
Yeah.
it just didn't feel right.
Right.
Yeah.
And our goal for this one too is like, well, we want to release it better than we did last time.
Totally. What happened last time?
I mean, last time it was all right.
Oh.
We just like we just didn't put a whole lot of
Right,
thought
right,
into
right.
it.
And just like let's
really.
just put it out there and
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
It'll do what it will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like, and then it'd be like, do you guys have any videos for any of this stuff?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No,
Guess we
no.
should get that
probably,
going.
like,
Figure out music videos.
yeah, we probably should have done that before we like released the first single.
Right.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
no like anticipation built
Right.
for it. It was just
Yeah.
like, here it is.
See, that's
Now let's just show it.
yeah,
So
and hopefully we can kind of shine a light on some of that stuff in this podcast. And I know a lot of people who listen to this podcast are in bands and like
Yeah.
you gotta have the pre-production,
Yeah.
like all that shit worked out
It's
before.
insane how much you have to have done ahead of time, and
Right.
you know, I will say, like, releasing an album is you learn a lot every time,
Right.
And I mean, I admire people who like self-release everything because there is so much to keep track of. Like Brian and I are both like ADD. It's very hard to keep track of anything between the two of us. Like
Right.
if it doesn't get written down, it just doesn't get done.
Oh man. And then like, you know, even something as simple as like a release date kind of being built around like how long it's going to take to manufacture the actual records, like so you can get
Exactly.
pre-orders out, so then you can
Yeah.
have them there, and then a month
Yeah.
later the record's out and you can start shipping, like
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, you know, if you're releasing a tape with this label and
Yeah.
you know, LP with this label, like
Yeah.
you have to have separate art and files for everything you're
Everything.
doing, and like there's so much prep work that goes into it, and then it's like you have to have all your single art ready like at least a month ahead of time because you have to like
Put it on
you have to get
fucking
your release approved
TuneCore.
by your distributor and like it's
Motherfucker.
just
This fucking fly is killing
Yeah,
me.
we need to kill that
Flies
thing.
attacking me.
Dude, it is bad. Maybe I'm sticky or something.
I'm pretty sticky too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What's his deal, dude?
I don't know, man.
What's his freaking...
He wants to be on the podcast.
He wants to be the host of the show.
Dude, he wants...
Well, either way, yeah, totally. There's just a lot of work that goes in. It's not just
Yeah.
putting your music out on Bandcamp and let the algorithm gods do what they will. It's
Yeah.
like,
Dude,
I
we've
don't
been
know if that
feeling
ever happens anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
no,
it's like
I
on
don't know if
top
it
of
does.
it, you have to have all your social media stuff ready, and you know you're gonna like we're gonna promote this thing on this day and this day
Yeah.
at this time, and like we're gonna release this graphic here and this graphic there. It's like I hate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like we have like a bunch of people helping us outside the band, but even
Yeah.
with all that help, it's like we're still all having to like do a lot.
Yes.
Like Adam does a lot, like all of our like art and graphic
Which is
design
amazing.
stuff, and then like
Yeah.
we all are kind of like there's still just so much to do. So it's
Totally.
like for any bands out there, even if you have a whole team around you, there's still
Totally.
enough for you to do.
Yeah.
You can't just like make music
It
and
won't
release
completely be out of your hands no matter what you do.
Yeah, I think that's like the big misconception of like getting a manager, and everyone thinks you need PR and radio and like all this stuff, but like that just means there's just it's
It's
a
that-
little
have to do
easier. You
those-
still
It
Yeah,
is-
you still have
yes.
to put the work in.
You still have to
Yeah.
put the fucking
You're
work in.
You're just
Like
Yeah.
it's like you're just answering to your teachers, and they're
Yes.
like, hey, this
Yes.
assignment is due like
Need
by
this by
Thursday
this,
at
yeah.
3
Yeah.
o'clock, and
I think it doesn't make it easier. It just makes the work you do go a little bit farther.
it
Yeah,
makes
it's a
it
little
more
delegated, yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, definitely makes it go farther.
Wow.
Like I said, we have no regrets about. We've had such a great experience working with Force Field.
Yeah.
It's just like thing. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
releasing a single every month, it's like from the beginning of the month, like you're doing all this crap behind the scenes to like release a song that someone will scroll past in their Instagram feed because they're,
Because they're just
looking
mindlessly
for-
Because they're
scrolling.
also watching TV and
Yes.
listening to
Yeah,
Yes.
podcasts
exactly, and it's-
Yes.
yeah.
It's like it's not. You can't take offense at that because like I think about that because like when I'm scrolling through Instagram, like I'll skip things like that.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then feel horrible because I'm like I don't want.
I didn't
people
give that
to do
any
that.
attention.
Yeah, I don't want people to do that to our music, but that's
Yeah.
just the nature of the beast. Like you got
And-
to.
That's why when people are fans and when people say, "Hey, I love your band, just heard you on this," it's like you have to like, I don't know. At least for me, I'm always about I respond back to everyone.
Yeah,
Like
so
I'm just
do
like,
I.
dude, thank you.
Yeah,
Like that
for
appreciate.
sure.
It's like making that one-on-one connection with those
Exactly.
fans, which gonna separate you from the other big bands who have already given up on that because like, oh, we already have our
We're
fans.
Yeah,
sound
it's like-
special.
Yeah.
I think that like the dream would be no matter how many people we have doing that to like
Yeah, to
try
maintain.
to at least get as many as you can, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
and like because that's so important.
Maintain a
having
strong relationship, yeah.
and just like connecting with people one-on-one is like
Yeah,
I mean
and
that's
like
the whole point of
Right.
music. Like,
and like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I owe
I'd be
everything to
playing
you.
songs alone in my bedroom.
Totally, yeah, and what is the music industry now? It's live shows and merch, like, and that's all reliant on direct to consumer, direct to customer shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the streams. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
That's just gonna pop up on a playlist and at some restaurant.
Yeah.
they'll
Also,
play
it's
it,
like
and
we
then
don't
it'll be a
make
stream
any
off it.
like hardly anything from
Off the streaming.
streams.
So
Like
what is it now?
yeah,
Yeah.
like oh you got 5 billion streams.
Hey, man, no,
Here's 20
hey.
bucks. Go
Yeah,
buy yourself
totally.
a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Kid.
It's exposure, okay? And we all know as musicians, like,
Free exposure
This
is
is
Free
gonna get
exposure.
sassy real
the
quick.
currency.
No, I
the
mean,
currency
yeah.
we should all.
being facetious, but
No.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it is good to have.
no, it is honestly it is good exposure, but
Yeah.
Totally.
It's a
No, it's
double-edged
great.
sword for sure.
Well,
It's just like
I keep saying this too, and maybe, I don't know, I haven't heard any pushback from this, but like there is nothing really wrong with Spotify other than how much money they're giving us.
Totally.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
And the
we
thing is,
love
like,
this.
use
I
it.
would love it.
Yeah.
Like the way they explore how to find new music is awesome.
Yeah.
They just need to
And I
kick
think
back
this is,
some more.
Yeah,
I
and
use
I
it
think
all
it's
the
kind of
time.
like the
Totally.
now. It's like the now version of people complaining about record labels in the '90s. Maybe,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we all use it, and it's kind of like become this necessary evil, and we all kind of like put it down, but we still put stuff up on it.
Yeah,
all the
Totally.
I
time.
mean, let's be
Yeah.
real. It does
You know.
have value for
It does
us.
have value.
No,
Right.
and I
As
get
exposure.
excited to like see who's put us on a playlist or
Right.
like how things are going.
And
Like,
sometimes
it's
that's cool
exciting.
because it is
It's fun.
like, you know what? This probably is like some kid out there that just really loves this and put it in a
Totally.
playlist, and that's cool. Like that was me making like mixtapes or
Yeah,
whatever.
except now
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
we could
You know,
actually see
sharing with
who
friends.
is sharing it, which
And
is
I can
so
see the
awesome.
playlist name. I see your dirty playlist names. Like
Oh my
Midnight
gosh.
Sex. Like I see that shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
that would be cool if we were
One
on
of our
those.
favorite things is like to
That'd be
just
weird if
go
we were on one of
through.
those.
Yeah, I don't think we're that bad, but
That's one of our favorite things to go through the playlist names.
Yeah.
And just like
Yeah,
do a
that's always
reading
fun.
of.
So funny.
I wish they would show you all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at some point.
So
Yeah,
frustrating.
There's-
that's honestly like my main.
What a
two
flex,
complaints.
guys. I wish I could see but there's just so many.
Yeah, no, there's so many.
There's just, I'm on so many playlists, I can't even see all of them. Yeah.
But that and
What a
also like
flex.
actually, well, I think Matthew Vasquez like
it's
mentioned
true.
this too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like the related artists. I think which he kind of related. I think
Totally.
to the top 8 or whatever.
It's
in
all weird.
MySpace. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just, like-
MySpace, there was a.
But
be
he's
so
totally right
nice.
about that. Like the related artists for us is just like, yeah, stuff that like no idea like what
Who
this
these
stuff
people
is,
are,
and,
yeah.
Like it'd be kind of nice to be able to either choose that or have there be some.
It's
other
like
way to do
it's
it.
so fucking set in stone. Like I don't sound like any of the bands on my
yeah,
top
it's like and
Spotify.
they'll always be there.
And like now the ones that like do kind of sound like me are very at the. You have to click on it and then they're at the bottom because it takes
okay.
so much
to
to
get there, yeah,
pass the other ones.
it's
Like
weird.
yeah, I don't know why, but you do a band long enough as I have, like I don't connect to any of the bands I'm suggested to. They're all
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
surf pop bands, and it's like that's what I did back then.
I was gonna
It
say,
was
Yeah.
That's like what it was back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
sure.
When we were on Pandora, well, I guess we're probably still on Pandora, but like when we were only on
Right,
Pandora,
right.
like our related bands were like
French
What?
choral music and
like
Yeah.
world
strange stuff,
music
yeah.
and like things
Whoa.
that like
Not that
have
French choral music is
nothing to
bad.
do with
Yeah.
our genre. No, not at all.
Just
But
doesn't
it's
make
like,
sense.
Yeah.
It was just like couldn't have been more incongruent. It was
Oh man, yeah. So I don't know, like Spotify and all that's great. It just needs. It's I compare it to like a grocery store. It's like the grocery store, like a Vons, like is paying. They pay for their items, cheese, milk. They buy that shit out,
Yeah,
and then
at
they
cost
sell it.
and-
Yeah.
And then
At
they
a markup.
but Spotify doesn't do that. They get the cheese and the milk at a fucking low price,
Yeah.
and give us a third of a penny for our cheese. This is our cheese and milk here.
I know
Like
most
our
of us
dairy.
most of us
Our
have
produce.
been like to begin with like have been in some kind of like we're all in a pay to play situation.
Right.
Like we all have to invest in like crap tons of music equipment and
Right.
instruments and lessons and hours of rehearsals and like the heartache of going round and round the cycle of creativity where you're
Right.
like I'll never make anything good again and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and then you're gonna give me a third of a cent for this song that like all of those things have gone into. It's like
When I think about it too, sometimes it's like even like at a merch table situation, like having a T-shirt there, it's like, it seems like okay, that's worth more somehow because like it's a physical thing
Yeah.
that you had to buy, and then somebody had to make that shirt, and I
Yeah.
can't make a shirt myself, and I can't print it or whatever, but I can sing a song myself. I can get a guitar myself and make music because it's more immediate. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that becomes a little bit devalued because it's seen as like, well, you don't really need to put that much into it.
Yeah.
You need to put a lot into making a T-shirt, but you don't need to put as much into making a song because it just kind of comes out of the air.
Yeah, it's not physical.
Yeah.
It's not something you can hold.
yeah.
That's why it's just so hard. Like with shirts and even vinyl,
Sure.
Yeah.
you can scale that.
Yeah,
You can see what
totally.
your profit margins are. Like the act of just making noises out of your mouth is like, how do you scale that up?
Yeah,
Like,
how do you put a
How do you
value
value
on
that?
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
not
it's
until you
people.
put it on that physical record. You know how much
Yeah.
the record costs you fucking $1, and then you can scale up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's I don't know. Music is weird. Why do we do
It's
this?
so because we love it.
Yeah.
Why did we pick
Yeah.
this career
Yeah.
path?
Well, I keep telling Brian like you shouldn't do it unless you really, really love it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that's just like frustrating.
Yeah.
We'll get
So
disenchanted
frustrating.
real quick.
Right, yeah,
if
yeah,
you
no.
don't absolutely love music.
But it is
like,
really worth it when that, like, whatever, you know.
That good show comes
Yeah,
through
that
and then
19
it's
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
oh,
like,
we're
that
gonna
kid-
open for so-and-so?
Yeah,
Sick. Like,
when that kid comes up and is like, you know what, I really love you guys. Like,
Yeah.
like your music has meant a lot to me.
right.
Yeah.
It's like I know
Yes.
what that feels like as being a fan.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
Like, I know exactly what that feels like, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's worth it.
Yeah, and
It's
people
worth
in
it.
bands are like, I mean, if you think of bands that you just like loved growing up, like those people seemed like larger than life to you.
Totally.
Like those people were just like, they're like on another plane. And it's like funny because then when you like are in a band and you're doing it,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
I feel like crap today.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to play this show and get out of here.
And then
real
you
quick.
meet them and you're like, oh, you
And
feel
you're
like crap
oh my
too.
gosh. Yeah, you feel like
Yeah.
crap too. Also, like the fact that like doing all this meant something to just even you. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm ready to go.
I think
like,
that-
I'm ready to make another song. I'm ready to like
Totally.
yeah.
I think that's something I noticed in the pandemic too, like doing this podcast in the pandemic and just people like, you know, talking to someone like Det May, who I think is very successful, love
Yeah.
Det May.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I haven't done enough yet. I'm like, dude, I think you're pretty successful. And he's just like, yeah, I don't know. I think I've had some good, it's like, he's just like, same boat.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like,
There's
how
always
do you
more work to do.
How do you quantify success
Totally.
in this industry? Like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean that like you release an album and the people who listen to it like it? Does that mean that like you're
Yeah.
selling out arenas, playing like giant tours?
Yeah.
Like, where is the line?
Totally.
Because
I
like
think
you
have
can
to
get
make that
so
line,
caught
yeah.
up in like what could be that like you're missing the beautiful things that are happening in the moment, where like
Yeah.
you're connecting with people.
Right.
And yeah, I don't like that's been a worry of mine.
Yeah.
is,
Or even
like-
just making something great that you love.
yeah,
Totally.
To
Yeah.
me, that's just as enjoyable. you
Yeah,
know?
that, I think that should be like the first like base of like, I like this song.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like these group of songs. These are for me.
Yeah,
And then
completely.
they're really, and they really are just for you. And then you put them out, and then they're for everyone. And then if
Yeah.
people like it, that's fine. But I think like if you want to get down to the real nuts and bolts of like
Yeah.
the music industry, selling tickets is like the
Yeah.
only thing anyone gives a fuck about. If you can sell tickets,
Yeah,
you'll
but,
have
like,
a career, and
how
then you
much
can live a
money-
life.
Like, how much money is it? Like $10,000? Is
Totally.
it $1 million?
Totally.
Is it $10 million?
Well, I know Wayne Cohen says like if he makes as much money as he can make working full time at McDonald's, then that's his baseline.
Yeah.
Like if
That's
I
a
can,
good baseline.
it's
Yeah.
a fine
Does
baseline.
he- yeah.
Like
Did he
whatever
own-
whatever
Yeah,
a
did
living
he-
wages.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he own a Long John Silver's? Was that it?
He
Or
worked
worked?
there.
He just
Yeah,
worked there? I thought
they
his parents
robbed
owned
his
one.
ass there or something.
Yeah.
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 That's insane.
That's when he like, I think I need to do music. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, but
Maybe I
totally
need
like
that moment. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, you just have to find that number for yourself. Like what it's like, what is it, $50,000 a year? Okay.
Yeah.
How many shows would I have to play to make that? Okay. And fuck, okay, got some work to do because I can't do that right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, we're all splitting this $200 from the show, like $100. We got opening slot. They're giving us $200, and now we have to split that. Like,
It's like we're splitting the $200, but like most of that's going to the
The
rehearsal
gas
space
and
we
the- and
rented
the
to like
fucking
rehearse
space.
before the
Yeah.
show.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we used all our drink tickets, and someone ordered too many tacos, and
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Now
Yeah.
it's coming. Now
Like
it's
you can
coming on you.
literally spend it all on tater tots and beer in like one night.
Totally.
It's like, well, I don't know if that's a living exactly, but
Yeah.
I do like tater tots.
Makes you feel good in the moment.
We were just talking about those diva moments, like on tour. He's like, oh, I think I had that one. Remember when it was really late and I just wanted to go to a hotel, and we had got a hotel. I was like, yeah, imagine that's like your biggest diva moment, having your
Yeah.
basic needs met. Like,
not
Yeah.
Wow.
sleeping in a car.
yeah. I was like, I think you're fine, dude. Don't worry. Like, no one judged you for that. We all need a bed that night. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so funny. Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys toured a lot yet or no?
No, not a lot. Like
we went out
played,
to South by Southwest
Oh, that's awful.
like one year, but
It
that
was-
was like the only kind of tour.
Did you like it? Did you like South by?
We had a really interesting experience all around.
Did you play unofficial shows or official shows?
Unofficial.
Unofficial.
And then
Those are
he
better.
was
Yeah.
playing with another band while
Yeah.
we were there, and it was so funny, like trying to like balance the
Oh
two
my
bands.
god!
And
Yeah.
then like
You're everywhere.
there
Yeah.
was one show for his other band where like the lead singer just couldn't find a parking spot.
Oh my god!
So like he never showed up, and they just like
Yeah,
vamped
I
on
had-
stage.
Yeah,
for,
so
like,
I was like playing just like some little Casio keyboard for this band, but then I had my guitar with me too somehow, and yeah, he just like couldn't show up, and the drummer and I like had been in bands together for a long time, so like we like had a similar like wavelength, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, let's just like go for it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And we played like 2 songs.
Oh,
Like I think
my
I played like
God.
a White Stripes song
Oh,
just because
my
I was like, yeah,
God.
drummer and guitarist. Like let's just
Yeah.
cover a White Stripes
White
song.
Stripes,
There was
classic.
like 3 people in this bar because
Right,
it was
right.
like it was like 10 a.m.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember the venue, but I was like, okay, no one's here. The most exciting thing that happened was like I saw Albert Hammond Jr. walk by.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh, okay.
As you're playing
I
the
don't
White
know.
Stripes, he's looking like,
He's
what the
like,
fuck is that
this
bar
guy's
band?
a loser.
Fucking
And
bar
then
band.
I just played some like, I just improvised some instrumental and we just like jammed out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, we're gonna leave now.
Yeah.
And like the guys who worked at the venue were probably just like, cool, yeah, good idea.
Get out.
They were probably
Like, yeah, you
like,
should leave, man.
Yeah.
And then I
Probably
think
like,
we
"We've
had a
seen
show.
worse."
So then I like had to like rush out of that
Yeah.
to like get to the show, and I was
Yeah.
like, I could have been at this other show like the whole time.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, my
it's
God.
so
Musically,
crazy. But
I think musically it was kind of like, all right, it was okay. But I think personally, like, we had a great time. And also, like,
Yeah.
Hurley, like, you know, like, they got us.
They sponsored our
kinda,
trip
like,
there.
sponsored
Oh,
the trip.
cool.
which was cool.
Yeah.
They put us on their Instagram.
Oh, sweet.
Like, we got to go surfing.
Yeah, they,
in
like,
Austin,
sent people
which
to
was
do video
killer. Like, we went to a
and-
wave pool and went
Yeah.
surfing with the
They did.
Yeah, we did some
Texas's
fun
greatest
stuff.
surfer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Surfer in
and,
Texas.
and just like we just made it a road trip. We went to
Sweet.
like White Sands and
Yeah.
and just like
Had some barbecue.
did
we
all the
played a lot
scenic
of
Oh,
stuff.
that's
cards
awesome.
and like
crazy,
banana grams.
How does
Yeah.
that work? How's Hurley get in touch with you? Are they in Long Beach or you work?
Well,
Someone
so
works there?
we both work. Well, I still work
Yeah.
there. He used to work there.
Oh, cool.
That's actually how we met. We worked in the employee store there together. And so, yeah, just like, you know, we kind of, working in the employee store, kind of came to know like everyone at the company and just became friends. And so, yeah, YB, he was doing like video work and he
Shout
was like,
out.
I want to go with you guys and like get some content for Hurley, like,
Yeah,
and
lifestyle
stuff like,
brand.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
trying to be cool
Right,
and hip
totally,
with the
I
young
get it.
kids, because we're so young.
Yes,
and,
so young and hip.
And
Yes.
so hip, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wow. You're facilitating a dream, right? The kids are gonna see you
Yeah.
guys like, yeah, they're living. I want to live their dream, and then
Yeah.
you go out there and you're like, oh no, never mind.
I think part of it was our friend YB also like kind of wanted a reason to like
Leave.
get out on
Yeah,
the
go
road.
south by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
no,
out of
hell
the
yeah.
office
Oh
for
hell
a few
yeah,
weeks, for a couple
absolutely.
weeks.
I do not blame him.
It worked
So-
out for everyone.
We had
Yeah.
some great barbecue and
Oh, that's
it was
awesome.
good.
Yeah, it was just a fun trip to Austin. you
Did
know,
the video?
but
Is there video content of that tour or that?
I don't think it
Yes.
lives anywhere
Somewhere.
anymore.
Yeah, I think it was mostly just on Instagram.
YB
It was like
probably has
stories,
Cool.
like on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Cool.
So those are gone.
That's
but
they're archived. Nothing's
we
gone.
can't prove it, but we were there. I
Such
promise.
is the nature of these fleeting times.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh man, speaking of fleeting times, you guys aren't on Twitter, but Twitter did their own like stories, and they called it fleets,
Okay.
and
Wow.
it's
Oh,
done.
okay.
They just ended it.
Okay.
Oh.
Speaking of
yeah.
fleeting, yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Fleets.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I
Fleets.
can't
Fleets
believe,
was fleeting.
I can't
Yes.
believe
It was-
nobody knew what fleets meant.
Yes, it was fun while it lasted. The only thing I liked about it is I could see who was looking at my fleets.
Oh, that
And when-
stresses me out.
I would look
so
up. I'm like,
hard.
oh, so that account is active.
Yeah.
They just don't tweet. They just like
yeah.
look.
Oh,
I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I just saw he doesn't use Twitter anymore. No, he
Yeah.
does.
Oh,
Okay.
that's,
He's just looking.
He's just lurking on
that
there.
stresses
Wow.
me out to know who's watching my stories.
Well, Twitter's so
I'm like,
weird.
I don't
You
want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter is weird.
so weird.
I kind of like didn't think people were really still using it just because I don't use it.
Right.
But like, and the job I'm doing for the summertime, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and the podcasts I've been listening to, like, including yours,
Yeah.
have been folks that like use Twitter a lot. So I kind of like just dipped into it, take a look, like what's actually going on.
What's
in
going
this
on
thing?
here? It's a lot of
Yeah.
memes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was,
people just like a
It's
lot
kind
of
of memes and anger, you know?
yeah, memes, anger,
and
like
anger.
a lot of memes like originate from there, and then they
I'm gonna
explode
start an
out.
account called Memes and Anger.
Yep.
It's
I can
already
see it
taken.
blowing
Probably.
up. Yeah, probably.
Probably already taken.
It's all been
All
done.
our
That's
good
the hardest-
ideas are stolen.
That's what I'm saying. The hardest part of like being in a band now is creating your handle and hoping that it's not
Not
taken
taken.
already.
That's why we have 2 underscores between
Right.
Sweet and Nobody.
Yeah,
on
we
ours.
gotta fix that. We gotta,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's promote the IG. What's the IG? It's sweet.
Sweet
Score
underscore nobody for right now. But thinking about changing it to Sweet Nobody Official, which is what we are.
That is official. You guys are
which
officially.
is what we are on TikTok.
Yeah.
Which we
We've
don't
made
use
it
a
Oh
lot.
yeah, let's talk
official.
about TikTok. You guys are on TikTok.
We are on
Trust me,
TikTok,
like by the
yeah.
time we get there, someone will have like released a cookie called Sweet Nobodies, and like it will be all the Instagram handles.
You
will
should
be
make that
taken.
cookie.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm
oh,
telling
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you guys should.
Yeah.
That's your
I mean,
merch.
Maybe
It's scalable.
Dude,
It's
if
real.
there was
Like
a
Girl
Sweet
Scout
Nobody cookie,
cookies.
like what would the Sweet Nobody cookie be?
delicious.
Yeah, but like what kind of what flavor profile are we talking about for the Sweet Nobody cookies? Yeah.
maybe.
What?
French
Can you
fries
sell
and
those?
Oreos.
Yeah.
It could be like a
Del
chocolate
Taco
chip,
flavored, just Del Taco flavored. cookie.
chocolate chip
Oh my god, I went to
potato
Del
chip.
Taco last night.
Oh, like an everything cookie.
Yeah, like an everything cookie
Yeah.
with like
Yeah,
M&Ms
yeah, yeah.
and chocolate chips
Sprinkles.
and potato
Whoa,
chips.
that'd be crazy.
and
That would be
pretzel
nuts.
bits.
That's your merch.
Here it is.
That is your merch.
Coming
Yeah.
in.
And we just gave it away on the podcast.
Right.
No, that's okay. That's you hype it up on the pod.
Can
Then
you-
Copyrighted.
Yeah.
we'll see it. We'll see it.
When this comes out,
Yeah.
it'll have been copyrighted, so don't even try.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
don't-
some,
yeah.
some other bands just sitting around like, oh, everything cookie.
Yeah. Now we're assuming a lot of people listen to this podcast. So many people listen, they're willing to steal your
Yeah.
cookie.
Tweets in anger. Okay,
Tweets in
starting.
anger. Yeah,
starting-
yeah.
That's getting stolen. The cookie thing.
yeah.
Right.
Do
Cookies
you
with
ever
our
feel like
faces
that
on
sometimes
them.
though, like where you have an idea and you kind of feel like if you talk about it too much, like it's gonna somebody else is gonna like take it?
No.
No.
Yes.
I never had that idea. I'm
I'm
just like,
superstitious about that. I guess.
I think
maybe.
if like
Yeah.
you know the comedian Patrice O'Neill had like a quote on that like when it was in regards to joke stealing. It's like if
Yeah.
they steal your joke, they need it.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
steal my idea,
true.
you obviously need it, and I'll just
Yeah.
come up with more ideas.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
think-
I would feel that way if I went to a show and saw an everything cookie sitting
Yeah.
at a merch booth. I'd be like, you know what?
You need
yeah,
that.
you guys needed that
Imitation
more
is-
We'll
than
come
we
up
did.
with another idea. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you
It's
know
like
what?
it wasn't a it's an easy idea. You know?
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Totally.
They say.
Yeah, I think Brian Eno said something about that where it was kind of like, you know, if they like stole your idea, it's just like they just did it and you didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
don't complain about it. 'cause they made
Don't
it happen.
act like in this world
Yeah,
of
like-
a quadrillion people,
Yes.
two people haven't had the same idea before.
Yeah, parallel thinking is very much very very real. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah.
How long we've been running there? That producer shit.
9 minutes.
Oh, nice. 59 minutes. All right. What else you guys want to promote? You're here.
Well,
We got a record.
we got a record.
When's the record coming out?
The record's coming out on the 17th of September.
Is the label putting it out?
The label is putting out. The label's called Daydream Records.
Okay.
Which is kind of like I think they started pretty recently and have
They're
done,
based out of.
They're based in LA.
Oh.
And they've done kind of like reissues of like indie pop records and shoegaze records that have gone
Cool.
out of print. So they've been doing like re-releases of those.
Oh,
and
cool.
then they're gonna do our record, and I think we might be like the first like
Original?
new band,
Okay.
quote unquote, that's like on the label. So we're doing that with them, and we have a tape coming out of the record as well on a label called Relief Map Records that are kind of like in Western Massachusetts. So we got that coming out as well. I don't know
We
if
have
we're
a
gonna do that
7-inch
sometime.
coming out in Japan.
That's right. There's
Oh, cool.
yeah. There's a guy in Japan that like wants to do a 7-inch.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is cool.
That's
So we're
awesome.
gonna do that.
Yeah, I think 7 inches are rad. I think they're great. I DJ vinyl on my spare time,
That's
and,
right,
and
yeah.
I just do 7 inches.
Yeah.
It's just so much
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, how many? Trying to count the rings and like trying to find the fucking song. It's like
Oh,
just
yeah.
7 inch. Put it on. Okay.
Easy.
I love
play.
7 inches and I
Super
love
easy.
compilation records.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were talking about
That's
it
the
together
best way,
because
yeah.
like I'll DJ vinyl sometimes too, and it's like saves so much space.
So much time. Yeah. So much space. Yeah. I know. I went to a play. Last night. I was at the Saloon, this place where I DJ in Ventura, and they had a different DJ there. And I just checked out his setup. I was like, why is he so much louder than me? How's this? Like, my shit starts feeding back. Like,
Oh, wow.
Because I have
Yeah.
one quality turntable and one cheaper Newmark. And the
Okay.
Newmark, I showed to somebody who knows like about like making turntables. He's like, see, there's no rubber on this. Your nice one has rubber, so it absorbs sound. This one has just plastic.
Yeah,
So,
so the
it's
sound-
feeding back.
Okay.
And like you can hear into the speaker, so I
Wow.
have to
Oh,
like
yeah.
turn down the
Okay.
bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful. It
Well, now
sucks.
you know what
I
the
I have a
issue
limitation.
is.
Yes, yeah, I need to buy a nicer turntable.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Half the problem is knowing the problem.
yeah,
Is there like a guaranteed like floor filler for you as a DJ?
yeah. It's Whitney Houston. I just want to dance with somebody.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want to
I
be
see that.
Yeah.
Without
People can't
fail,
handle it.
every time people yell, they go crazy like she's in the fucking room. Like it's insane. And then the energy just dies down because what do you play after that?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
usually
would
keep that to like the end.
There's
follow
nowhere
it
to
with
go.
some Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah,
So
you,
Mine's
you can do
been-
September and
Yeah,
people will
September.
lose their mind too. Yeah.
Mine's
been Lionel Richie just all night
All night long?
Yeah.
Yep. I got that one too. Yeah, I'll play those all
Crazy
kind of
on
next
that.
to each other.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think people would go nuts with that song because it starts so slow, but then
Yeah.
Yeah.
people go off, dude.
Yeah, I think it's a good song because people are kind of like, they're like maybe like just getting done dancing to the last song, and they're kind of like, okay, I hear it. They're like starting a conversation
Yeah.
maybe, and they're like, I know this
Yeah.
is gonna go somewhere, and they're just waiting, and then they're like, yeah, and they want
Totally.
to like,
Like it builds the hype.
yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. It's a good build.
No, I 100% agree. I like. I also would like to just like take down the energy completely and just play like, you know, Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no drums, there's nothing, but like everyone knows that song still.
Yeah,
Yep.
it still like
It's
makes
still
people
like
happy. when
yeah,
you hear it.
totally.
Yeah.
When I was
Bobby
a kid,
McFerrin or Farland?
Yeah.
McFerrin, yeah.
Yeah, Farron.
When I was in middle school, my mom's cousin's daughter got married, and Bobby McFerrin was like at the wedding.
What?
Yeah, it was like
that's why you know his
it
name.
was like in Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sure,
and
like
like
in Minnesota.
the reception was like in these caves where like gangsters used to hide
Yeah.
out, and there was like,
Like Al
bullet
Capone,
holes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like bullet holes in the walls
What?
from like where they had shootouts and stuff. And then it's like I'm in a cave with Bobby McFerrin, like eating mashed potatoes and gravy. Like, what is life?
That's amazing.
Dream.
Right, that does sound like a dream.
That's
like
a crazy
Like
dream.
the school dreams that you had earlier sound more plausible than that dream.
Yeah,
Than
yeah.
reality.
That
That sounds
really-
like a straight up
Like, it
fever
can
dream.
happen.
Yeah.
Stranger than fiction, man.
It really
Yeah.
happened.
Wow.
Fiction.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, man, let's wrap it up. Thanks for being on, Sweet Nobody.
Thanks
The
for
record is
having
coming
us.
out.
Yeah.
How exciting! Shows
Yay.
are coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wear the mask. Go to the show.
Yeah.
You're not singing, so just keep it on.
Just
Yeah.
put some like fruit stripe gum in the mask, and you can lick it while you're
Totally.
listening. To
Find
that
something
music.
to do.
Put
Yeah.
a ring pop, and then put your mask on. Could turn it into a fun experience.
Right. Well, cool. Hey, well, thanks so much for being on.
Thank you, Ruben.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It is. It's toasty.